Hello, and welcome back for another blueprint build video today. We are going to be building this kind of modern, contemporary looking home. So if anything from the last video, if you took anything away from the last video, they can be quite chaotic, and the proportions are always a mess in this game. I say this every time I do a blueprint build, I feel like, but it's so true. You can like plan out everything the best you can, and then you get in, you start furnishing or something like that, and then it just kind of goes all haywire. So you just never know what to expect when something works really, really well. Last one, I thought it was going to be a breeze, and then we ended up having all these other issues on the interior. So we're going to get into this and get going. So hopefully we don't run into any issues like that. So let's just go ahead and get into it. So thankfully, this is at least just like a rectangular box. And you might be thinking, surely nothing can go wrong with this, right? Right? Surely not. Let's just see what ends up happening here. So I'm going to go ahead and start laying out the floor plan for the downstairs before we even put anything upstairs. Now we have a little foyer area that gets us into the main part of the house. I'm just going to say that's the foyer for right now. I might even try to go ahead and make a little closet here, and then there's like another closet right there. Now, beds are pretty wide. They're like 3 tiles wide, so I can already tell you we need to scoot this over. We don't have enough room. And that's the problem we're going to run into pretty consistently, is that the scale of the house is going to be a lot larger than it should be, than we need it to be based on the photos. But that's just what we have to do sometimes whenever we're doing these blueprint builds. Now, I might even still need to make this at least like 1 tile wider. So we're off to a, great start here. It's really not that bad, but I like being dramatic. If we go ahead and do this, I think the bedroom's pretty straightforward. We actually don't even get a picture of the inside of this bedroom. So I literally only have the blueprint to go off of this, and we have a bed and 2 nightstands. So that's all that's going to go in here. Maybe I could have a little closet space here. We'll see how it works around the staircase. If I have this be our bathroom space, I'm pretty sure bathtubs take up 3 tiles as well. So if we do that, and then we have our kitchen space, it kind of comes out to about right there, the equivalent of that. We can have our little wraparound kitchen, dining space, and then we have like a laundry room that comes over here that kind of goes into this space a little bit where the staircase is supposed to go. Maybe we do a 2 tile wide staircase. What are our thoughts on that? Then we still need to shrink this in a good bit, and I'm afraid that that's going to be too much. It might be too small, but we can try it. What if I make the hallway here a little bit smaller? This is what we have, and we'll do kind of like a bigger staircase that wraps around. So let me get the staircase going. I'm pretty good about this, which makes me really, really nervous because that means something bad's going to happen. I know I keep like setting myself up for a jinx on that, but I'm telling you, nothing in this game comes easily. Nothing in this game comes easily. Let me repeat that. Nothing in this game comes easily. And if it does, then you need to question what you did wrong. Now, if we had a taller wall height, then it's possible that we wouldn't have this weird 2 tile area that doesn't really fit in anywhere. So if we did it like this, maybe, that way it fits just like perfectly like that. Yeah, let's just do that for right now. We'll have a little bit taller wall height. And then the upstairs is fairly simple because we have the master suite. It just kind of comes across like this. This is going to be really big. It's going to be a little bit bigger than it should be. I know I keep changing this, and I'm sorry. It's just, this is always the problem with doing these, is you just don't know how it's going to pan out until you get into the build. I'm going to try to not move anything else anymore. And then we have like a closet right here. That's fine. And then we'll bring the wall around to there. Now, it doesn't have the same jutted in piece here. Maybe we could just close that off. Would that be so bad? We have a little bit of extra space, but just to get the shape of the bathroom the way that it should be. I think it's actually pretty interesting how this has like the sink open to the bedroom space. So we'll need something like this, which is really interesting to me. I think it's kind of cool in a way. I don't know if I'd prefer it to be that way in my own bedroom, but That is a pretty interesting vibe, I would say. I don't like that it's open though, because you do have a toilet in here. So the fact that it is just open to your bedroom like that's a little weird. But that's why I like doing blueprint builds on things that have some quirkiness to them, like some weird quirks. It's just more fun to build that way. So we do have this really cool vibe going on outside. I'm gonna go ahead and get the roof piece up here. We'll do this, and I wanna try something. I don't think it's going to work, but it would be interesting to see if we could get this to work in a way where you can have the two different materials wrap around. And I just don't know how they overlap. So that's what I'm going to test out with if I were to duplicate the roof piece. But first we need to figure out the actual exterior and what we're going to put. So there's some type of like wood paneling or siding that we have. Honestly, horse ranch, it's like a yellow toned wood. I don't know if we're gonna have something that's quite that yellow toned though. Oh, maybe we could use the growing together. This one could work too though. The lighting on this lot looks really off to me. That's an option. This one looks a little too skinny, like it looks a bit odd. It doesn't quite fit the vibe. I feel like this one's a good one to go with. I'm gonna go ahead and put this up here on this piece too. Now, the tricky thing is trying to figure out what we can do with this spot. We do have like a metal texture from Eco. It looks like it's a metal plate of some sort. I'm wondering if we just get the black of this. Once we place the windows, that'll help define more of where we put this exactly. So here's what I want to test. If I were to duplicate this and put this on here and then put this on top of this, the other one stays. Interesting. So if I pull this one back, like let's just say we pull it back a little bit and put it there, and then I put this one on top, oh, we're getting somewhere. Okay, so what if I bump that up then? Oh, it's gonna change the angle though. Isn't it funny? Because this was on top of this last time. Like I couldn't get the metal to show, and now I feel like it's just an order. Like if you put things on in a particular order, you can get it to work the way you want it to. Maybe I'm just a dreamer right now. Oh, I think I did it. I think I got it. Nope, never mind. Interesting. So it has to do maybe with the width of the piece. Okay, so it's just not gonna work. I'm gonna leave it like this though. I actually don't think it looks that bad for it to carry over to the side, and I'd rather leave what I can do like that, because then it makes it still look pretty close to the original design. Now, one thing that's really interesting here is that we also have like this little part that juts out. So I'm gonna put one tile, and this is just gonna be for like a decorative element for the outside with the same material. What I'm wondering is if we actually take the roof piece, if I make it a little bit smaller, and then we could do that on top of here and pull it over. Something like that. I know it's not exactly what's there, but that's what it makes me think of. And then we have the door underneath it, so we still kind of have like this awning space of some sort. And then I could even go ahead and put like a little room there and delete the walls. That way we at least have a ceiling above it. That's actually kind of cool. I've never done something like that in a build that I can recall. And we can't see the top here, but I'm going to make the assumption that it is like a tin roof of some sort, because that's generally what we see with this style of house. So I think something like this is going to work really well right there. And then we do have like a platform situation for a wraparound. So let's just kind of do that. It's not like a full wraparound, but something like this. It definitely looks longer on the front than how far it goes back like that. So I think we're onto something there. And then we do have like a black column that separates right there. So maybe just getting the get together column in black and putting that at the end right there can work and serve the same purpose. And then on top of that, we do need to have a ceiling still that goes there. So we'll have that. And then for the columns, it's like a fully brick column almost, which shockingly, I don't think we have a brick column, which when you think about it is kind of crazy that we don't have that in the game. We have this, which is like a stone column. A part of me kind of wants to use this just because it's brick and then you still have like a column on top of it, which is kind of the style that we have in the actual build. And I literally don't see any other brick columns. I could be overlooking one, but I think this is pretty much it. Do we have one that's like a gray brick? Oh yeah, we definitely do. I think that's kind of the vibe. It's not the exact same, obviously, but we do what we can in this game. Now, what's interesting is in the blueprint, it looks like the fence comes here and cuts through and not go over the porch. But here in the picture, you can definitely see that there's a fence above the front porch part. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this whole flat part. Honestly, maybe Get Famous would be better because there's no rail at the bottom. So if you look in the picture, it's not like there's a railing. There's not a railing on top either. So I don't think B&H would be a good option for this. So we're gonna go with this one, and I'm gonna make it black. Oh, never mind. I'm not going to make it black. We don't have it in black, so we're going to leave it white. I think that's fine. It gives the illusion that we're wanting there, maybe. Okay, now let's get us a front door. We need a way to walk in. I feel like this could work. I haven't even looked at the swatches yet. Actually, I don't like that. Island living? It's similar vibes. I like that better. It was the frame of the window in the other one that I didn't like. It was like super white gray colored. This one's at least black tinted. So I think this might be more the vibe. And we actually do have wall lights that look similar to what we have for the exterior. And they're from Growing Together. And we'll put these up here. They are pretty high in the picture, so we'll put them pretty high up there. I usually don't like lights being that high up on the wall, but it is what it is. I'm gonna block this space off. We'll come back and do a little bit of landscaping. Landscaping is gonna be very minimal on this lot because we can't see all the way around the house. And so this is pretty much all we're gonna have is just for these little beds here. And now we can do windows. So let's figure out our window placement. And I am thinking that Eco Lifestyle will probably be a good match for this. Theoretically, these should be on either side of that black part there. Let's use these. They're smaller, easier to work with, and they're like a similar style. I wish they were more like rectangular. They're a bit more taller than they are wider. And then we actually do have one over here. Okay, that's okay. This looks way bigger than it should be. I really think, oh man, I've already done so much though. I'm like, should I shrink it a little bit more? No, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it. It's fine. It's fine. And then I do see a window over here. We'll figure out the exact placement later on that as well. My game just crashed and I did not save. See, I told y'all, blueprint builds, they stress me out. Okay, so I'm just about back to where we were, I think. Okay, so now let's look at trims really quickly. We're gonna have to ignore the fact that it kind of clips with the column, but that's okay. We can ignore that. We have had to ignore worse before. And then we need like a black roof trim. I don't know, I don't really like that. What about the bulky one? I never like using this one, hardly ever. I've used it one time now. There has been one build where I'd want to use that. I actually do like that here better though too. So maybe we do use that. And can we put this right here? So this one's technically going to need a trim, which means I'm going to have to do my little trick here. We'll see what this looks like. Let's do this, and then we'll get our little, and yeah, I think it's gonna have to go all the way around. Otherwise, it's just gonna look very awkward. Okay, let's save before we go. And then whenever I rebuilt it, I did go ahead and make it a little bit smaller. So if it looks like it's not as wide and like why this doesn't look as weird as it did, it's because it's one tile shorter. So I really do think we can fit everything in that we need to with the space we have allotted here now. And it made this look a little bit better upstairs too, so it's not as wide. Let's focus on the foyer. The door is not at all centered on, and also I forgot about the fact that it's on a platform outside, which means it's up on the inside. See, it's always something. There's always something that's more difficult. I could put the whole house on a foundation and just have it be like this. We'll do that, and then we don't have to worry about the door like that, but I do still want the door to be centered here. Now I'm a little worried about the, oh, I didn't realize that was, oh, so this window that we see on the side probably goes in line with that. I see. See, it all comes together gradually. Now, one thing I might do is maybe we could make the hall space a little bit wider since we actually need a table to go here. And this little space, since we don't have a lot going on in it, it could be a little smaller. And then we could still center the window. Yeah, I think that's going to be so much better. Okay, so in this first space, all we have really is just a mirror with lights, which is nice. Now, everything in the house, unfortunately, all the walls are white. So let's go ahead and get a white paint that we can put down, and then we'll go in and start like actually getting into the nitty-gritty of everything. Maybe we could use this one. I don't really like the texture of it, but it gets us kind of what we need. Okay, so let's just put this everywhere. Interestingly, we do have a different flooring, it looks like, because around the house it's like a brown wood flooring, and it looks like there's like a grayish tile. It actually looks hexagonal, dare I say, like the eco lifestyle flooring that we have. I kind of like the idea of getting to use something else. Now, I know I use this all the time, every time whenever we have a sliding door or something, but we have the one from Island Living, which is kind of like a sliding, or well, it definitely is a sliding door. What if we did this though? That's actually kind of nice. Let me not use the Island Living one. Let's just do something like this. It does look weird because we have these two really tall doors. I know it's a bit much to do this, but with it being like our front entryway, I just feel like it would look silly to have the little bitty door with these other two really big doors. So let's do something a bit more grand, and we'll keep it white. All we have in here is a mirror, so it's like we don't really need to worry about anything else being in the way. And then I'm honestly thinking that new Grange Mudroom kit mirror could go here because it's arched like that. Cute. And it looks like there are like hooks to hang your jacket or something, which we did get something like that in the kit, but I don't think this is what I want. I actually think I might use the spa day hooks that's a little bit more seamless. And we do kind of get a gold color. So I'm going to imagine that maybe, that looks a little bit high. I'm gonna put it a little lower. Maybe we have two here, and we can see that there are two over there. And then we'll get a light that comes down. We don't have something that's just kind of like a plain big bulb like it's showing. Not in that style anyway. We do have this. Maybe we could do this. It's kind of similar. I need to change the lighting though. It's definitely not yellow toned. And then I'm gonna leave it gold to kind of go with the mirror and hooks over here. I know we have like 3 shades of gold going on. At least it's not 50 Shades of Grey. Let's move on. Now we just need to get a door to go here. And this will probably set the tone for what doors we use inside. Now, the problem with this is that it's gonna look really silly to have a door a different height right beside this one, which was the whole point of why I wanted this door here in the first place. Maybe that doesn't look as bad. It's fine. It's at least, it matches, you know? Now, we do have like an accent table with a mirror over it and like a thing of flowers. I'm gonna go ahead and get the flooring though first because my ADD brain is going all over the place right now. This is a little too wide, but I kind of like this one, the one from B&H, just like the style of the plank. The one from Eco is like a lot skinnier and longer planks. Honestly, Island Living is kind of a vibe with this. I like how they're short, like really short planks. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. Oh, I do like how this has the different colors though, because we do have light and dark planks. It's just a little bit saturated for the color. Part of that's my reshade tool. Maybe I use this. I like never use this flooring, so I kind of want to use it even though it's not quite the exact same thing, but it excites me. And I kind of forgot to do this, so let me put some clothes in here real quick. And then this had shelves in it, and that was it. So I'm imagining maybe just a plain white shelf and stacking them up in here a little bit like that. I'm gonna go ahead and change the picture to this one because we can see a bit better what's over there with the table. And then we can kind of just go ahead and see the dining area as well. So I know I'm kind of jumping around and there is a door to the bathroom over here. So we'll come back to that. But let's just get this little table. I honestly think the eco lifestyle table is going to work really well here. I think that like shape wise is pretty similar. It's similar enough. And then we just need a round mirror, which we honestly don't have enough of these. The ones that we do have are a bit stylized because they have the lights in them. You know, it's just kind of weird that we have those. And then the only other one is like this, which is not what we want. I don't know why we can't get more of them. I love this one. This one's like my go-to because it's the only normal looking one, but it's so small. This one matches that color, but this kind of matches the flooring better. So what if we go with the more kind of yellow tone? We could either do this or this one kind of goes with the legs down here. I want to bring the darker color up on the wall like that. I think that looks cool. And then let's just get a little flower decor object of some sort right here. Like maybe we could just get this one. And then it has like some candles that are glass. Like they have candles in these glass vase things. What if we just put this in place of that? Oh, this would be perfect. And then that can go on that side. Let's just do something simple like this. I think that works. And then I do think that Dream Home Decorator is going to come in handy for some of these other like pieces of furniture for the console table. So like for the TV, maybe we could pull, because it's curved, so it has this kind of curvature to it. I think we could use this. So let's just get one of these and put that there. It is supposed to be like all wooden. That looks a bit much. But in the picture, to be fair, it does match the floor. And this matches the floor. It's just everything's a little too saturated. So I might just leave it regardless. Let's get our TV. Perfect. And I feel like I use this a pretty good bit in my blueprint builds. I just can never remember the packets from. I think it might be Dine Out, actually. It is. Look at me go. I'm starting to remember. It kind of cuts into the TV, which is unfortunate. Maybe I can size that down and pull it forward. It has a pinkish tint to it, so we'll do that one. And then we have mags over here. So let's just get us a big old thing of magazines and put them on the end piece right there. And we're building, so I always like to do like the HGTV looking one to me. Has a picture of a house on the front. Okay, and then I have a better view to look over in this direction for the living space, but I want to go back before we get too into this and look at the bathroom. So it definitely has the same flooring as the foyer, so I'm just going to go ahead and put that in there. We have a bathtub over here. Now, we're not going to be able to get super fancy with that because it has like a glass screen on it and everything. If we put that there, then our sim won't be able to get into it because our sim has to enter on the side with the faucet. Still trying to think a little bit about functionality. I know I'm definitely a vibes over functionality type of person, but I still want to have basics be functional. Honestly, the base game tub kind of matches a pretty good bit. Oh, it's not big enough. Oh, wow. For some reason, I thought bathtubs were bigger. I don't know why I was thinking they were 3 tiles when they're only 2. Whoopsies. Bathroom door is a little bit more this way on that side. What if I split this up and I could put a wall there, and then we can put the bathtub on the one side and then have the shower on the other? It is a bit nicer of a bathtub. Maybe we could do this one and get it in solid white. And then we do have the shower from Sleek Bathroom actually looks kind of just like that. And it does have like a golden looking finish to it. So I think the gold finish here is good. Maybe a little bit lighter. We'll go with that one. And then we do have like a backsplash that's like this that we got with that base game update. So that's going to be helpful for the subway tile. Voila. And then let me get into Sleek Bathroom Kit and get some of the little things that we have. So we could like put this over here up against that wall. Okay, I'm gonna put like one of these right here for the bathtub just so we have something on the wall. And then maybe we could have like a thing of soap in the corner right here. And then I do see a hanging towel over here, so we can end up putting one of the things from Spa Day, the towel hanging on the hook up on the wall. I don't like how this looks. Y'all know how I am whenever it comes to things like that. I'm gonna try to leave it though. One thing I could do over here is get the screen from Sleek Bathroom Kit and use it like a door. We've done that a couple of times. Okay, my game just lagged and I just realized I haven't saved since the last time, so I'm saving. Y'all gotta remind me. So we have this thing, and I like to like sometimes just clip it in like it's a door. And then I like to pretend like this is a handle. So let's get this on here as well. And then we'll delete that. And then I might need to make more adjustments for this, but we'll get this over here to the door. And then it just needs to clip in a little bit. And voila, you have a handle on the door. And we can kind of make it gold colored. Let's get us a toilet. I do think Tiny Living's toilet would be perfect for this. It's solid white, and obviously it's small, so it doesn't take up too much space. And then we can end up getting our sink. Now, for the sink, that's not super modern looking. I do kind of like the style of that, though, with the color of the wood. Maybe with Dream Home Decorator, we could get away with that. It does, oh, okay, it comes with a light sandy colored wood tone, too. That's pretty similar in style. I think I can get on board with that. And then we have a little bitty plant. I think the Grange Mudroom Kit plant would be perfect for this. Oh, look at that. That's so cute. And then we're going, they don't have soap, which is kind of nasty, but I'm going to stick to it. They don't have soap in the picture. I'm not putting soap in the bathroom. Don't come for me. Then they have a towel holder over here. I'm going to use this one. I'm going to size it down a little bit. And then it's the same thing with that mirror. They have all these arched mirrors, which we don't get a lot of those. I think we have one with B&H. Maybe I can use the B&H one in here. I don't want to use the same one everywhere. And I do feel like the B&H one's better for a bathroom situation. And it looks like it's black. Oh, wow. Look how different those swatches are. They look so different. I can hear Miranda Priestley in my head being like, no, it's very, very different. Okay, so then we have like a little stack of towels too. Now, I think I can get the Sleek Bathroom Kit towels and size them down to look like little washcloths. So we have these. Yeah, that's cute. I think that works. I might size it up just a little bit more. Yeah, I like that. And then you can see in the mirror that it actually is a recessed light like this. So I'm just gonna leave this in here. This is kind of pretty plain and straightforward. I just need to put a picture behind the toilet and then I think we're done with this room. And it looks like wheat. A wheat field. Oh, you know what? The cats and dogs one. That one would work really well in here. Cats and dogs. This one looks like flowers, so we can like use this behind here. Hey, how big it is, and it's so empty. It's so empty. I don't like it. I don't like it. Oh, I do see a toilet paper roll thing attached to the cabinet here. So let's just put some toilet paper on the wall right there. There is a window opposite to the mirror. You can see that. I have this here, but in the picture outside, it didn't show another window. Yeah, like something like that. Kind of like as you come in, you have a window right there. Okay, now we can get into the living room space a little bit more. This is not at all the windows that they have on the outside. It's showing two windows, but with like one of these in the middle of it, which we didn't have. This is the thing that I run into oftentimes with blueprint builds, is where the inside is like rendered differently from the outside. Now, obviously, I think this is supposed to be here for the living room space. I'm going to leave it for the sake of the exterior looking the way that it should. We still end up getting a window in the living room, which is fine. I'm wondering if maybe I could just make it look like a mirror image, and I could still put a window there. There's nothing that needs to go on the wall there. We could still put a window there like it's in the picture. It just isn't like that on the exterior, but you know, it looks fine. But why not do it? Maybe we should start with the rug. Like, what if we go with something like this? I think that's fine. And we can get like that color. So I might use Dream Home Decorator because we don't get sofas that have the little chase on it like that unless you use something like this. So I think this is the time. And honestly, it's kind of funny. It looks like it's just one seat, technically, with the chase. Should I do that? It kind of bothers me, but that's actually what it is. It's a little funky looking. It's a cute little couch, but I might do that. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't. Let me get this over. I don't know. I kind of want to leave space because I feel like the curtain is definitely going to come out a good bit. Maybe I do scoot the rug over. Oh, no, it doesn't look good like that, though. What if I overlay it and let it clip a little bit? And then there's a basket over here with like some blankets in it. Scott's Summer Fun Basket. Just put a little something, a little pizzazz right there. And then we need a little round coffee table. So we're definitely not going to have a coffee table that looks like this unless I put the tree stump. And I'm not putting the tree stump. That is not the vibes. That's not what we want here. Maybe I could use this one. Okay. Okay, maybe we go with that. And then this is kind of the shape of what we have there. I'm gonna size it down a little bit. And then I think we have a solid white. We do. So we can use that there. Cute. Very cute. Very cute. And then before I get to the shelves, I want to figure out what in the world we can put over here. I also need to get the door before I forget about that. We'll put the door there, and we'll even have the doorknob on the right side. Well, the left, but the correct side. Y'all know what I meant. I know we are not going to find this particular object, but this is kind of similar vibes, I feel like, for the side of the door. And then we're going to get the shelves. Now, I'm thinking, oh, I really wish we could use the Home Chef Hustle shelves, but they come in doubles, I think. Yeah, they come in doubles, but that's the right style. What if I did something like that? I think this swatch is pretty much on point with what's in the picture, but I'm almost wondering if I could go more, just a little more of the yellow tone to bring that color in from the flooring. because that's kind of, I'm trying to keep to the idea that in the pictures, the color of the wood tones on other objects matches the color of the wood tone in the flooring, but we don't have a super faint color on the floor like that, so it's a little more yellow toned. And we do have some plants. I see a plant that's making me think of Phil, so we are gonna get Phil in here. We'll put Phil right there, beautiful. We have a nice little hanging, a nice little viney. We have a nice little viney plant on the end of this one anyway, so it's perfection. So we can get the candlesticks from Love Struck in here, which is kind of cute. There are a couple of them on this one. So we'll scoot this one off a little bit, put the little plant there. And then we have books. Maybe we could put books on this one. Do something like that. I actually do like it there. Maybe we do put the books there. And it looks like we have pictures here. Now, I might be able to put some of the Casanova Cave kit pictures. And that takes up a good bit of space, too. We could just do, like, the nature-looking ones. Like that. That looks fine. Oh, I forgot about this. This could be kind of cute on the floor where that basket is. What we got from Grange Mudroom. I have been using Grange Mudroom a little bit. Maybe it would be fun to use that just as a new object. And then let's just get our resident llama. And then I'm just gonna sneak some books back here. So it's best that we spend the time on that to personalize it a little bit, because that's gonna end up being the most interesting part of the house, in my opinion. And so I'm kind of thinking that we just use these that we get from Desert Luxe. Oh man, I really want that to fit over that just right. But maybe it's good that it doesn't. That way it gives the illusion that they slide. And I think we're done with that. Now we have our dining table, which is just like a brown circular table. I kind of want to stick with the idea that it's like one column though underneath it, like how this is. You know, like just one column, and then it has like the... So I don't want table legs all the way around the table, I guess is all I'm trying to say. Now the chairs, I'm not sure actually if we have a chair that's going to be reminiscent of that same style necessarily. In a way, I feel like these B&H chairs could work. Maybe we go with that. And I'm just gonna put 4, and then we can still fit through here. So if I have the chairs kind of go this way, I could push it up against this wall more so, and then we can walk through here and be fine. So maybe that's the way we go with that. And then we actually do have a light that looks like this, and it's from Horse Ranch. It's not as pretty looking. It's a little more like rustic, but I feel like this could work. Maybe I do get the longer one since we do have taller wall heights. Oh, the B&H one could work. Never mind. See, that came in handy. I'm glad I made that mistake. Unless this is the only size we get of that one. Yeah, it is. It doesn't come down enough. I mean, I could make it bigger. I get how massive that looks, but with the tall wall height, it actually doesn't look as funky. Maybe I make it a little bit smaller. Voila, we got that. Okay, that works. And then we have something that looks kind of like that on the table, so we'll have that. And then we do have place settings. I'm just not sure if that's something I want to put necessarily. The thing with these is that they always change color. Like, see, I had them as white and then they changed to green. You just never know what color you're going to get. It's a little glitchy when you place this because they're from Debug, but I could try to go with those. Okay, so with our kitchen, it's really simple for the most part. It's just a U-shaped kitchen. I gotta figure out what counter we're going to use. I'm honestly thinking Dream Home Decorator is going to be the way to go. So I know this matches, right? This matches the color in the picture best. But it also, this is supposed to match the dining room table. If you see on the top of the table, it's like the same shade of brown, which is the same shade as the floor. So keeping with the consistency, I should use this one because that is the color that I used for this and everywhere else. So again, we kind of got a little messed up with the color swatches in here since the flooring isn't quite the same. Not that that's a bad thing. It's just I'm trying to be consistent with the style choices. Like, why did they choose the swatch that they chose? You know, like that's what I'm trying to adhere to. And then they have like I might take the big upper cabinet. At least with this one, we do get uppers. And then I'm thinking we can take this big one right here and put it over here next to where the fridge will be. So we have like a stainless steel looking fridge. I mean, we could get something like this. It's got the double doors on top with the freezer on the bottom. It's similar types of vibes. It still irks me that we don't have a fridge like this in the picture in the game, because that's the fridge I had in my last apartment. I feel like it's a very common type of fridge to have. If we want to stick with the same set, we could do that. Honestly, that's kind of close. What if we did that one? So I might just use what I did in the bathroom. Now this one has more of a black color in the grout. So maybe we could do this. That looks a bit heavy though. I might do this one. Now we need to get our uppers. We have a window over here. So I'm gonna put the sink on this one. It's at a different height, which is a little obnoxious, unless I do that. But maybe we do that and just not worry about it clipping like that. Because I don't want to have to change the height of the windows literally everywhere else just for that. I don't think it's worth it. And then let's get some upper cabinets now. What if we make the fridge a little bit bigger? Look, I get it's kind of funny. Okay, that's a little too big. And then what I might do is build a wall there. It's supposed to be a built-in fridge with the cabinetry around it, and we can't really do that. So we're just gonna put a wall there to close it off and make it look like it's a built-in fridge like that. Okay, so we actually don't have a lot of clutter in here. Now, there is like a microwave and stuff over off in the corner. I'm not worried about that because we can't squeeze a microwave in that corner anyway. So it looks like we have some mugs hanging over here. I'm gonna get that new mug object that we get in the kitchen clutter kit, and then I'm going to like try and place this more so over here. Everything's white pretty much for the most part. And then it looks like we have a coffee maker, so we can get a coffee machine. I get this one looks older, but the shape of it is kind of close to what we have. So maybe we just do that. And then it looks like we have salt and pepper, a thing of utensils. And then it looks like we have the same light as what was in the foyer area. I know it's gonna be silly looking, but what if we did that here? Like, what if we just have that light in here to keep with the consistency of it all? And I'll even hide the other light inside of it so we can make sure it's well lit. And then we'll cool down the tone there a little bit. I'll use this one because it blends in to the flooring the best, I feel like. Oh yeah, oh no, I forgot about the door that's supposed to, see, I knew something was gonna happen. Okay, so we definitely have like sliding doors to a back patio or something. So I'm going to have to move the whole house forward. We could use these. It's not quite the same style as what we have in the other parts of the house, but I think the eco lifestyle ones are going to be too big. And then we don't actually get a picture of the laundry space. So I'm just gonna put that flooring in here, and then I'm gonna put a water heater right there because that's what it looks like from the floor plan. And if it's like everything else in this house, it's likely white. So I'm going to go ahead and get that in white. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the same doors. Now I forgot to change the color of them, but they're going to have to be black. Oh, wait. They can't be tall here. Uh-oh. The upper floor is not the same height, so I have to get different sliding doors, but black. And then let me make sure I change these too. They're gonna have to be black. I wish we could change the color on one side and have the exterior be another color, but we just can't. And then we have these windows up here, which is kind of cool, and it's even showing windows over here, which is interesting considering based on the floor plan. Those are not the windows that are on the front. See, this is where, again, it's kind of funny. I'm gonna leave what I have here, what I've already done. We're gonna leave what we have already put because we spent a lot of time doing that. We do have a window over here somewhere, like in that vicinity. So maybe we could go ahead and put that, and I might even make it kind of like a double. And then the whole wall has curtains. So I'm just going to snag what we did downstairs, except in a smaller version. I'm gonna do that and then have the curtains, and then have the curtain rod go across the rest of it. And then we have a bed that's kind of in this style. And the one I'm thinking of is high school years. Don't we have something from For Rent maybe that works better? Look, I get it's not a canopy bed, but I like that it has this on the headboard, which is the same style as in the picture. And it is a primary bedroom. Now, am I going to use the same thing downstairs? Yes, because we don't know what's downstairs. Granted, that could be a good excuse to do something different. Now that I'm thinking about it, I did forget to put pillows on the couch downstairs, so we are going to go back and do that. We don't need like a ton of them. So we have like 2 right here, and then we have a couple that are like kind of laying up against the wall over here. I'm gonna kind of like rotate this as if it's falling on top of this pillow here. So it's like leaning back just a smidge. And then we have a little pillow in front of this one. So I'm just gonna size this down, raise it up, and push that up in there, like so. Maybe raise it up just a smidge. And there we go. That's kind of similar. That's similar enough. What's creepy is how we do have a rug from Dream Home Decorator that is eerily similar to this one. So that's kind of bizarre, just a little bit. And I'm gonna do this one just to give us a little something something. And then I like how small these are, so maybe we can use these end tables. Then maybe these. I get they're very large relative to the size of the nightstand, but we don't have anything else on the nightstand, so I might just leave them. No, I'll size them down once. We'll do that. Okay, and we do have a light fixture on the ceiling that's kind of like this one. And then it looks like we have our dresser over here. Now, you can see that there's a window above it. Maybe I shouldn't use this one. Maybe I should use a more horizontal window. That's like this, maybe? Is that over those directly? It is. Maybe raise it so it's at least the same as the height of that. It's just funny how small the dresser is. Oh, what if we put this? I think that could work fine. Pretty. Okay, simple. And then we have a big plant in the corner right here as well. Now, I don't know. It kind of looks like the one from Cottage Living, but it doesn't branch out as much. Oh, the dine out plant could work too. Let's see. So I was thinking of that and this. Honestly, the kind of basket look is cool in here. I like that. And that's like literally everything. And then we have the sliding doors way over here. Again, the proportions and stuff are a little off. I'm not gonna worry about it. I might put a window here. I might have a little freedom and put a set of windows. It's not centered there, but it's centered from the outside on this black part. And then one thing I just thought of is how this might need to scoot over one tile. What if this doesn't wrap around as much? And then I just have one window and I can scoot all of this over. Oof, that still doesn't help enough though. I mean, I could just scoot the doors over more. It's not quite centered underneath that, but maybe that's fine. But either way, I needed to scoot that over because I have to have my vanity here. Sorry, y'all couldn't see what I was talking about. This is what I'm talking about. We have the vanity space right here off the bathroom, so I needed space to put that. Now, we do have another mirror. Oh, you can see it a little bit here. It's more of a console table than a dresser, but I don't see a dresser anywhere else, so I'm gonna keep that as a dresser. Maybe we could use the for rent dresser because it has the similar style to it. And it comes in a similar color, so maybe this would be better. And then I can put this mirror here, and this one's white. And then this is another like closet space. We have a light in there, and then I'm just gonna put some shelves in there with some clothes. And then a Dream Home Decorator for sure is going to come in handy here as well. I might just grab the same sink as what I used downstairs. I think what I'm going to do here, I've done this before, where I just kind of elevate this a little bit. And then I think the soap from Sleep Bathroom looks really good right here because it has like a rounded tray in the picture. And it's a little weird to have your soap way over there, but I'm just following the thing. We can't really center the sink very well here. And then we actually have a shelf and go all the way across here and do something like that. I think that's fine. And then we'll get our mirror, which kind of looks like this one. These look like pumpkins over here, don't they? That little pumpkin decor might be too small for y'all to see very well, but that's what it looks like to me. And then I'm going to get this little thing and put that there. I think that looks really cute right there. And then this does have like a dark gold tint to it, so maybe I do that. And so this is what we get with the primary bathroom space. Now, I'm going to do this with the Love Struck doors. It's not going to look the same, but it's close enough, I feel like. And then for the floor, I might just use like the Home Chef Hustle floor maybe, just for the tile. And then we do have a window. Maybe just like the little square window could work. There is a trash can that I can see. So that's good. We at least get a trash can in here. Maybe I could put this one because that's kind of what it looks like, size down. Put that like in the corner. Now toilet paper is on this wall, but I'm gonna put it here because it just makes more sense. Just kind of put that over here across from the shower, and then I actually need to put a shower. So we'll put that one there. And then it looks like it's like a chrome color up here, so I'll do that. Maybe I could get like this shower caddy in here as well. Maybe what I could do, since this is just dead space for the sake of it being dead space, I could put another hot water heater in here. Can't access it, but you know, it's there. And then based on the floor plan downstairs, like the bed is up against this wall. This looks a little weird with the window placement, but c'est la vie. Maybe we could put these on either side. Could go with the same rug and just do a different swatch potentially. Ooh, what if we go with the yellow? Just a little extra pop of something, something. So we'll do that and just put the curtains on those sides there and then do the curtain rods all the way across. I know it looks a little funky with the window placement, but it is what it is. We're doing the best we can. And then maybe we just keep all of our dress clothes in here. And that's the only furniture that it shows for that bedroom space. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Now from the outside, you can see a little bit of furniture up here. I think I'm just gonna kind of put what the floor plan has though, because we can't really see it very well. However, from the picture from the outside, I can tell that it's like just white furniture with like a black frame to it. So I'm wondering if we can do Dream Home Decorator, because it does show like this really big sectional that's in this space over here. And then there's a dining space that's over here in this area. Again, it looks funny because on the floor plan, it looks like this is fenced off right here from the porch area, but in the picture, it shows the fence over the porch area. So I'm opting to just have all of this be open. I get it shows 4 chairs on the thing. I'm not gonna get that analytical with it. I think this is fine. We have some nice seating. This could be like an entertainment space. If y'all want to download it from the gallery, you could like definitely add like a DJ booth or like a fun jacuzzi hot tub space or something along those lines. I think would be awesome. But I mean, you could pretend like this is a carport and you pull your car in right here. Maybe make it a little bit wider. And then we have like little rocks in here too, because it's like a light colored rock. What if I put that in the beds here? And then I just remembered that I need to put a little space right here. We can't really see out. I think I want to make that a platform actually. So we'll at least have a little platform out there. I can't really see through the door very well what else is there. Oh, I forgot the shower upstairs actually did have like a little rug in front of it. You couldn't see it in the bathroom picture, but it was in the one with the bedroom. So you could actually see it peeking around the corner. I'll do the white color with that. Okay, so getting into the beds, it looks like we just have like some little, I don't know, maybe we could just put the succulents for this part. You know, just something like that. I think it's really nice. It's very simple. But again, modern homes, it's like less is more. So I think just the like little distinction with the size of them lends enough variation. I'm gonna put a couple of trees just so it doesn't look so barren. I can't help it. I don't want it to be that like plain looking. And then I do think I saw shrubs on this side. I'm just gonna add a row of shrubs right here. And then I will add the outdoor lights at each of the doors as well. Oh, I added the door and forgot to move. See, this is why it's good to do the little tours. I added the door here. How many? Oh my gosh, I can't imagine what y'all were thinking this entire time. Y'all are probably like, he's not gonna leave that there, is he? So your Sims actually are able to get through this because there's a half tile on either side. So we can put that in the center here and walk through it. I think I'm gonna go with a fancy white marble. That's the front of the lot? You have got to be kidding me. Oh, that's so ugly. Oh well. Whoops. So I put this on the gallery as Joshua Modern Blueprint, and that's because the blueprint is actually called like the Joshua plan. If you're interested, I always put the link to the floor plan down below, so check it out if you want. And with that, I hope you made it to the end of the video. If you did, thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed watching. I think it's always interesting to see how these floor plans translate into The Sims, and honestly, it's always good practice to just see how you can translate real life floor plans into the game, just generally speaking, and I think it can make you a better builder over time the more you do it. It's just more iterations and get more practice with fitting things in, and you start memorizing how many tiles different objects in the game are and everything, and how you can place them, so you can like kind of plan through a bit better as you get more familiar. So that's why I really like doing these. If you want to check out my last blueprint build, I'll put that over here for you. And lastly, I just want to thank my Soul supporters. And with that, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye. Oh my gosh, y'all, this one had some interesting challenges to it, but I think we did really well on this one.